Dr. Brad Allen is a pediatric cardiac surgeon. I want to make sure I get that right. But he's now running for Congress. He's in Dallas because actually the Farrah Fawcett Foundation, check them out online, is doing their big event there in Dallas. And Dr. Allen joins us this morning. Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning. How are you?
We're great. You know, what I want to talk about is why someone as accomplished as you, as a cardiac surgeon helping so many children, sort of got out of the operating room and said, you know, I want to run for Congress in Santa Barbara, California. I want to make a difference. What was it? Was it what Biden's doing to the country? Did you just make a stand? What made you say in California, dominated by Democrats, you might be able to win?
Well, I've never seen the country change so much so quickly in 18 months. We're in a recession. It's the highest inflation in 41 years. Gas prices have doubled. Housing and rents are through the roof. 64% of people are living paycheck to paycheck. We have the crime problem. We have the homelessness crisis. The debt has gotten so high that the interest on the debt is soon going to be over $1 trillion a year. This is unsustainable. And I just looked at this country and I went, I can't just sit on the sidelines anymore. I've got to try to do something when it's this bad.
It is this bad. And, you know, California is not alone. You know, we see this all over the country in all of these states that are led by Democrats. And, you know, as a doctor, I want to get back to like a couple of things that are bothering me, including, you know, we just saw this whole thing about the COVID vaccines for kids. And yesterday, something came across my social media, which I found really interesting when you talk about big pharma, is people that have transitioned who are going through these transitioning from male to female, they're stuck on drugs for the rest of their lives. And there was a video of a person that came out that said, I wish I had never done it this. I am now a slave to these drugs. And it was like this epiphany moment where I looked at it and I thought, again, big pharma. How much of this, as a doctor, do you think politics comes into play with healthcare in this country and how it's driving voters right now?
Well, here's part of the thing that bothers me is when we're going to talk about healthcare. It makes no sense. Our Secretary of Health and Human Services, Secretary Becerra, has never been in healthcare in his entire life. So why do you take somebody who's never been in healthcare and make him the Secretary of Health and Human Services? If I would never bring somebody like that in to run my hospital, but we put him in charge of our entire healthcare. And that's the problem. We keep sending politicians to Washington to fix something they know nothing about. I always ask everybody, if you had a problem in your business, if you had a problem in your hospital, if you had a problem in your newsroom, would you bring a politician in to fix it? The answer is always no. So why do we keep sending the same people back to Washington? These guys do. That's the other thing that bothers me. You know, I'm a problem solver. I've solved complex problems all of my life in running departments and et cetera, and building programs. These guys don't. They just throw more money. Their answer always is more money, more regulations. Look at the student loan program, or bailout. What's the problem? High college tuition. So what do? Throw more money at it. What does that do? It makes it worse. That's all they do. It's always money.
Costs are going to go up. Yeah, the colleges are going to say, hey, you're getting it paid off. I'm going to charge more for tuition. Right. And here we go. And Bidenflation keeps going up.
That's right. And it's a way to buy your vote. They feel that the public is too naive, too uninformed. So if they tell the kids, hey, we're giving you college tuition, they think this is great. They don't realize that not only does the college tuition goes up, with all this more free money, it makes inflation worse. Gavin Newsom's doing it in this state by giving everybody money because of the high price of gas, rather than attack the reason for the high price of gas. No, let's just give you some free money so I get reelected. And it just bothered me so much that the country's going down with all of these problems, and then we got people in there that don't know how to solve them, and that's why I ran.
Well, we've got a live chat on Getter, the social media, during the show. A lot of people weighing in. They love the idea that you're getting involved, and they want you to win. Ralph and Chuck, a couple of our friends, say real Americans are standing up, running for office, trying to take this country back, so they're applauding you. I teased a moment ago the Charlie's Angels factor. Now, I'm always careful when there's a female candidate that I want to say, well, you're the wife of so-and-so, because that woman, like Tudor Dixon in Michigan, is standing on her own 2 feet. And I don't want to embarrass you, but You're married to somebody maybe a little more famous than you are.
Oh.
And her name, and I don't know if the audience knows this, Jacqueline Smith from Charlie's Angels. So talk about her on the campaign trail as a factor and what it's like to be married to this terrific person.
Oh, I met Jacqueline when I operated on her father as a heart surgeon. That's how we met. And we've been together for 33 years. She's a wonderful woman. She's from Texas. She never lost her Texas roots. And she used to call her mother 3 and 4 times a day. And we started a skincare business a few years ago together. And that also gave me insight into what government's doing to small businesses with all these regulations they're putting in. It's unbelievable. So I got to tell you
too. Yeah, go ahead. Well, Karen seems blown away.
I'm blown away. I mean, I had a Charlie's Angels lunchbox, and it was my favorite. And I was completely obsessed with all 3 of them, and thought that when I grew up, I would be just like them. And there would be. I do have a red phone, though. I did get a red phone.
We got the red phone
so
here
that dream
for our
came
boss.
true.
So last thought from you about Jacqueline. Go ahead.
No, she's everything you think she is. She's just a warm. Everybody who meets her, all my friends, they go, she's normal. I go, yeah, that's why I married her. She's not just beautiful on the inside. Outside. She's beautiful on the inside.